Okay, so since we have also some speakers from abroad, we will change to English language. So that's why I would like to welcome you, everybody here. It's always challenging to have a presentation after lunch. So hopefully we will not get you sleep, but it will be very interesting for you. It's good to see a lot of young people. So I believe that it will bring to you some values, and the time you are spending here will be not a waste of time. So before we start our discussion, we will start with the presentation of one startup from our neighborhood country, from Czech Republic. And I would like to welcome on the stage Jana Lopatová. She's Chief Executive Officer at InstaCover. So please welcome her. Jana, you have on your LinkedIn account, you have written that we help insurance product leaders improve company financial results through user-friendly car inspections and claims.
So, can you hear me now? So, thank you so much for having me here. It's a pleasure for me to introduce you an example of using innovation in insurance industry. So, just give me a second, here. Nice. Oh, yeah. As Rashti mentioned, my name is Jana Lopatová. I'm the CEO of InstaCover from the Czech Republic. And the topic of my presentation is AI vehicle inspections for free, almost. Before we start, just a few words about InstaCover as a company. So originally we started as a custom software development company, working for different clients in different verticals in the Czech Republic. Among those clients were also insurance companies. And when working with these, we found out there are so many unstructured data, so many manual processes, that's a quite good potential for future AI solutions. And we found the perfect match for our AI solutions in car insurance, where we also created our flagship product we have today. Today, we work with 53% of Czech car insurance market, including Generali and the insurance companies from Vienna Insurance Group. We should start with why are we doing this? What problems are we trying to solve? What problems are we trying to help our clients with? So, 15% of cars entering the insurance are damaged, according to our data, at least in our market. So there are those pre-existing damages our clients want to cover when the cars are in the underwriting process. What's even worse, there are 85% of users of the insurance clients who are not able to deliver complete and correct photo documentation to the insurance company. So instead, they are sending pictures like these. Those are the real pictures from our app, from our solution, when the users tried to upload them before the AI told them not to do so. So in the past, obtaining car pictures was time-consuming and costly, and also not all cars were checked. So in case of our client, which results is my presentation based on, they checked 25% of cars. So with incomplete data, incomplete photographies, incorrect photographies, or even missing photographies, there was higher risk of potential fraud. And just as a side point, the fraud in car insurance in the Czech Republic has risen by 156% over the last year. So that's something what our clients really want to have covered and want to prevent. So to the solution, our solution is a web-based app, an application. When the insurance client gets an SMS from the insurance company with the link, when clicking on the link, there is this app opening in the browser of the device, and there is a guide explaining what should be photographed and how. All the pictures are checked immediately by our AI model, and then the client gets the information if the picture is okay or not. If that's not okay, then he also gets the reason why it's not okay. That means the picture is blurred, the picture is too dark, the car is covered by snow, or there is some part of the car missing, etc. So with this, he is able to take the pictures again, and this time better. So then, in the end, the insurance company gets the complete photo documentation. For the user, the procedure is quick and easy. it takes 7 minutes approximately to finish the inspection. And once the inspection is finished, there is not just a pile of high quality and check pictures, there's also a bunch of data about the car as well as the device. And as we usually get some of this data from the insurance company, typically license plate or VIN number, we are then able to compare if the data is the same. That means if the car on the pictures is the same one as the car in the policy, which is an anti-fraud measure. And as I mentioned, those 15% of damaged car, there's also damage detection. So we are able to automatically identify if there is a damage on the car, how severe it is. There are 5 levels. 1 are scratches, 5 are those big damages incompatible with another ride. And there is also a location of the damages, where the damage is located on the car. Here's some real picture which ran through our app when those damages were identified. And now to the results, which is the most important and interesting part about that. So with the app, today, all cars are checked. Not 25% as it was in the past, but 100%. And as every checked car is a less risky car, as our client used to say, then that takes me to the second result, which is 20% reduction of early reported claims. So those claims reported over the first 3 months after the policy was created, those were reduced by 20%, which might be some kind of psychological effect, but can be also confirmation that having all pictures, all cars checked can help reducing or preventing fraud. And then the last one, that's the most important one, that's the cost reduction. So why am I saying that the AI vehicle inspections are almost for free? Well, that's because there was 91% inspection cost reduction compared to the physical inspections. 1 physical inspection costs you around 20 euros. 1 AI inspection costs you around €1, which is a huge difference. So just to sum up the results, there is time saving for both clients and the insurance companies. For the insurance companies, that means that the people who in the past made the pictures of the cars or checked the cars can today focus on more significant tasks, on edge cases, special cases, and also on the needs of their customers. There is money saving, and there is, of course, fraud prevention. What I just presented was for the underwriting process, but currently the same procedure, with the help of our clients, we are trying to push from underwriting to claims. Because in the end, who should benefit the most from all of this? It's not the underwriting, it's claims. So that's where we are heading and where we are going to move the innovations next. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Jana. And now I would like to welcome the other presenters. Please come on the stage. So first of all, let me introduce our speakers. On my left is the Štefan Velčický, who is the head of non-financial supervision of the insurance industry of the National Bank of Slovakia. You can clap if you want. Then please welcome Erika Krizsan. She is managing director at Insurance Factory. Jana Lopatová, you know already, yes? Then is Peter King. Welcome, Peter King, insurance and insurtech advisor at Balkan Exchange. And František Jurina, senior manager at Deloitte Advisory. Okay, so let's talk. We heard Jana about her project, her startup, and we know that startups, when they start, the first asset what they have and they can offer to investors is people. Usually they don't have a product yet. Only one thing what they have people. Good people, talented people. So let's talk about how to attract people, how to bring talented people in the insurance industry. We know that the insurance industry has not a very good reputation, to be honestly. Yes. We are facing this every day. But on the other side, as other industries, we need talented people. And we need them to develop our business, to attract them. So what do you think? I will start with Erika, because Erika is very active in that area. What do you think, Erika? What should the insurance companies do to attract talented people into the business?
Yeah, thank you for the question. This is my favorite topic because I am enough old to support young people to love the insurance industry. It's not so easy because you say that is the insurance industry not the most sexy industry? Yeah. So if you are asking, do you want to go to an insurance company or do you want to go to Google? I would say that most percentage will say, okay, I want to go to Google to work. But after that, if somebody decided, as I decided 30 years ago, to go to this industry, and I had a lot of possibility to learn from different departments, different people who support me. And I see that after the 20 years corporate life, I had the possibility in the last 12 years to engage people, to close this gap between the startups area, and we know that we need everywhere talents, and currently what in the corporate world was. 12 years ago, I started with innovation management in this industry, and I spoke a lot of CEOs, and they mentioned, Mrs. Krizsan, what about are you speaking? Our business model is more than 300 years the same. What do you want to do in innovation management? And I say, no, this is something new. We have to digitalize. We have to create wow effect for our clients. And they said, oh, Mrs. Krizsan, is this marketing? Is this IT? Or is this sales? And I say, no, it's something new because we have to use the technology to create something great solution for the clients, save the cost, and we create new business models as well. And in this time, I see that we have the big gap between the mindset of the people and what we are seeing in Silicon Valley or Tel Aviv or Singapore. I say, with my engagement, I know a little bit this industry, we have to close this gap between the innovation, startup, technology mindset and the corporate insurance mindset. Because if we close this gap, everybody has an easy job. Because if you are speaking about blockchain, if you are speaking about metaverse, everybody knows what is this, is relevant, no or not. And exactly it was my target, these training activities to do in the corporate world. And we have a talent network. This is an Insuri Talent Network. And we are working to teach young people to understand this industry. Because if we understand this industry, everybody know, oh, no other industry so well connected like the insurance industry. It's connected in the car insurance, it's connected in the health or a smart home or whatever. It's so colorful industry and we try to do it. And we need young people to love the insurance industry.
Thank you. So who loves the insurance industry? Okay, so far, 1, 2. Okay, I hope at the end of our discussion, everybody will raise the hand. Jana. What did you offer to the people to come and work for your company?
Well, I wanted to speak also about taking people or attracting them to the insurance industry. But we are a small company. We don't look that much for new people. Currently, we are good as we go. But when we would like to attract someone new, or when we are talking to people, we attended a data festival 2 weeks ago in Prague at the university. And when we spoke about the product, what we are doing, what are the results, the people were quite attracted. So when you speak about good, interesting solutions, that's something that attracts the people. And yeah, I'm fighting for the technologies here. But that's also what I would recommend, to show that the insurance industry is not just a traditional industry as it is, or it was, but it's also incorporating new amazing solutions, because that's something that could work, to show that this industry, the traditional one, can be also a cool one, with including like new core systems, new solutions. It looks differently also for the young people. So then they would be probably more interested to join it, even if it's a traditional industry as it is today in our minds, in our countries.
Okay, thank you. Before we move to Peter, I would like to just mention that there is a Slido. If you have some question, you can ask, or you can do it in a traditional way, just raise the hand. So, Peter, you work for the biggest insurance company in the world.
I did, yeah.
Yes. So you have experience from that side, and now you are supporting and helping to startups to grow and to be not scared to come to the business. So, what is your experience with people in insurance industry?
Well, I think insurance causes its own problem because it's not great at marketing itself. And whether that's selling insurance, whether that's trying to talk about itself. You know, when I used to deal with my colleagues, sometimes they like to overcomplicate it, whether it's a wording, claims. So it's really not making it simple. And now when I work with insurtechs and technology companies, there's a completely different language. And it could be like two people, somebody speaking Czech and someone speaking Serbian in the room, because the insurtech is speaking one language with the technology, underwriting is talking another one, and then they're just not meeting in the middle. And I think it's the overcomplicated side that really prevents young people from joining, because it's not easy to understand. If I go and join an insurer, what does underwriting do? If you tell me it's going through a lot of information and pricing, that sounds boring, but there's so much that goes behind it that insurance is not really good about explaining. It gets too technical. And, you know, let's look at leadership within insurance. I ran Central and Eastern Europe for AIG. And if you look at the results, Microsoft and Google both produced their results last night. They were talking about innovation. If I listen to Greenberg at Chubb, or I listen to Peter at my old company, they talk about cost saving. So even from a leadership level, when they're producing their results to the street, to Wall Street, they're not talking about innovation. Last night, if you heard the results of Microsoft or Google, they were talking about AI. And young people are interested in innovation. So even at the very senior level, leaders are not talking about innovation. They're talking about cost saving. And if I was a graduate coming through today, do I want to go to a company that's talking about the future and talking about innovation and growth, or an insurer who's talking about, you know, cost saving and not talking about digitalization, right? And that is a little bit of a challenge from the very top, because it doesn't give the perception that insurance is an industry that's looking to innovate. But there's millions of companies like Jana, and whether you join an insurtech or an insurer, there is so much to do. You know, the work that Erika does around innovation, because we need young people in insurance to help people understand what innovation means, what digitalization means. You know, Erika and I were just talking about, you know, been in the industry for a while. You know, senior management aren't really clear what digitalization means. They think an app is good enough. So I was in a country and I was talking to the government and the regulator, and they did a consensus, and we were looking at digitalization in the industry. And all of the banks and insurers came back and they said, we don't need anybody like Revolut, PayPal, Wise in here, because we all have apps. And they just assumed because they had an app for customers and people could buy insurance on an app, they've done it. That's it, tick. Digitalization has happened. So there is still so much to happen. And I think young people can bring that inspiration to leadership, because I always use the example. If you look 100 years ago at the top 100 companies in the world, they kind of stayed the same for 90 years. But if you look back 20 years ago, 10 years ago, some of those companies that are the biggest in the world now didn't exist 20 years ago. And it takes different management, different leadership to think about innovation, and it needs inspiration from the younger generation. And insurance has to hold up their hands. Historically, leaders have been of a certain age. There's not been a great amount of diversity in insurance around leadership. A lot of recycling, like manager fails, ends up being a manager somewhere else, takes the same ideas, etc. So it needs to think in a different way. And just one last point. One of the other challenges is helping people recruit. So I always challenge my team to always interview somebody who didn't come from the industry. So, they were the CEOs of the country, so I respected their decisions. But one of the things I used to challenge them was, make sure when you're interviewing, interview somebody for the role, as long as they have certain criteria, who's not from insurance, because they may bring a different dynamic to your team. And sometimes in insurers, I find they're hesitant to look outside of their industry to recruit. And some of the best people we brought in were from outside insurance. We could teach them the technical skills, but it's those other skills that we needed that they brought in, and they really helped the team drive them forward.
Thank you very much, Peter. I think you should think about to start to be consultant for HR people in insurance company, help them to how to attract young people. Yes.
With Erika, coming to events like this and the work I do on LinkedIn by talking about it and spend a lot of time. One of the benefits that I have is because I had a senior role at AIG, that it works. That I'm very lucky. I get the ear of many people, right? So, yes. And I talk to them, and slowly the work that Erika does, and we all do, Deloitte as well, and we're slowly getting people to think, outside of the box. So step by step, as we say in Serbian, korak po korak, right? We'll get there.
Yeah. Okay, František, you are working with insurance companies on a daily basis. Do they see the same problem as we are discussing here? Or they have a different view?
Of course they do. Yeah. So attracting talent is one of their biggest challenges. And I would say it's hard to compete, for an insurance company to compete with Google. But I doubt there is that much to innovate in Google comparing to insurance companies. So that could be one side in how to attract people, because insurance company, comparing to some other financial institutions, is really less innovative and less developed in the technology way. So that could be one side. You joining insurance company in technology, you can really see how you change the industry. There is huge potential on that. On the other hand, insurance companies are traditional companies. They traditionally work as a safety net, for the society. So that could be also kind of attractive for young generation who now cares a lot about climate change and world changing in this area. So working for insurance company, which is basically the purpose of that company is to prevent those damages and prevent those changes and work with the society to prevent the changes, can be also attractive to young generation, because they can be at the heart of the change and help change the society, basically.
Thank you. Štefan, you are representing the National Bank, and I believe also National Bank also would like to have talented people. What do you do in National Bank? How do you attract them?
Yeah, that's from the point of supervisory authority, it's a really tricky question, because when we talk about supervisory authority, you need to have people who have experience, who have knowledges, who have some specific preparedness for some situations, and it's not so easy to take absolutely new young people to the team, which goes directly to supervise insurance undertaking. But, and then that's also really important to know, and it's really important also for hiring people, not only in National Bank of Slovakia or other supervisor in the European Union, but also for insurance industry itself. When you give the possibility to do something which really change the processes, things, and when you give to not only young people, every people, to give him good salary and give him possibility to rise them, I think it can bring new people and young people to the industry. And from the point of National Bank, I can say like Elon Musk here, because it's not possible to say, yeah, come to us and you change the whole process of supervision in European Union. It is not possible, because it would be nice, but it's not possible. Why? Because I'm working in insurance industry more than 15 years, and it's for the last 15 years it was created, I don't know, on the European level, maybe 2,000 or 3,000 pages of regulation of this sector, and that's only the first part of the regulation. Also, we have something like question and answers on European level, and there are thousands of other pages what to do, and there is no one people who read everything which regulate the insurance industry itself. That means that it's not so easy to say, come to us and everything has changed. But I think specifically the modern insurtech solutions or technological sales solutions can bring to industry, how to say, fresh wine, because in many ways these solutions can change every process which is incorporated in insurance undertaking, and can simplify it. Yeah. It's absolutely normal that high management say we need cost cutting because we need more money, and at the end you must be profitable. When you don't profitable, it's not proper company. Also, Google won't be profitable. Also, Apple would be profitable, and also Allianz would be profitable. That it means that you need to find the proper bridge between cost cutting and finding new solutions. And what was said before in the first presentation, yeah, we have process which cost 20 euros per one case, and after solution, it costs only 1 euro per solution. It's perfect. That's it.
Okay, thank you very much. You already mentioned about digitalization, and yes, after COVID, the process of digitalization of insurance industry has become quicker and quicker. But I have an impression that insurance companies started with this and almost they ended. That they have like an online application, and that's all. Yes. So, what is your opinion? Is there any opportunities? There is more opportunities for insurance companies to digitalize their processes. I know that there is like a green policy, and it makes the environment to be more digitalized. What is your opinion?
Okay, if I may start, you mentioned it that, of course, new regulations are coming to the industry. We are talking about ESG. They just finished the IFRS 17 regulation, and all those regulations are about the data. Yeah. So I doubt that all insurance companies in the Central Europe are working with the data in a modern way. Yeah. So even for those regulative purposes, they are sticked to the current processes, how they manipulate the data, how they consume, how they report. So there is a huge opportunity to implement AI, machine learning, and speed up the process of the reporting. And also there is a huge opportunity on using those data also for their business, for the core business of insurance companies. So having different views on the data, why their customers are buying their products this way, why they are not having more, for example, policies with them, so cross-sell and upsell. Those insights on the data should be easier gathered using new ways how to consume, analyze, and report the data. The other thing you mentioned is digitalization itself, that it speeded up during the COVID because they need to lower this gap they now have to their customers. So they have a meeting in person, but they still want to sell some new policies or do the changes on existing policies. So this helped a lot, but I don't think they stop, yeah, because I still see in insurance companies lots of other lines of businesses that you don't need to meet that party in person. They are still relying on manual processes there, and they are still working on a paper. Like all the commercial, commercial risk industry, it's still relying on the paper in the majority of the processes that underwriting processes or claims assessment, the reinsurance policies and so on. It's really not much digitalized. So there is lots of space. As I said, one of the way how to attract talent to insurance industry is there's lots of space for improvement and digitalization.
Jana, you have a solution for insurance company, how to do digital transformation. How it is easy to approach the insurance company and sell them your product? Are they either hungry about this or they're resistant? What is your experience?
That's a good question. It's getting better, I would say. It still takes a lot of time to explain and to have their trust that it works. And also in some cases, it's still about changing the mindset. Like mostly when coming into the insurance company, what they see as the first thing is this solution is gonna take jobs from our people, which is something we don't want to. And that's okay. We don't want to take jobs from the people as well. That's not. That shouldn't be the result. The result is to take from them those tasks, tasks that can be easily automated, those like repetitive tasks, so they can focus on something more specific, some like edge cases, specific cases, or just the customer care to really have the client, because the insurance companies want to have client-centric, to really be client-centric. So if there is something like special, they can approach the client and help him. So yeah, it's still about changing the mindset of the insurance companies. That's what we do a lot. And that's what takes a lot of time, like a year.
Peter, do you agree, Viviana?
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, winning over hearts and minds internally, you know, lots of the projects that I've been involved in when I've gone inside to insurers and trying to help that partnership between insurtechs and insurers, part of the challenge is winning over hearts and minds and talking to the right people, because, you know, I could give you hundreds of examples of failed implementation where, you know, somebody, it could be the chief underwriting officer, the claims officer. If you don't have those people on board, then the implementation just doesn't work, because that person will be like, yeah, I just told you that technology wasn't right. We had the right process in place. So you have lots of barriers. You have to spend a lot of time before you implement, making sure you win over hearts and minds, and it's not easy at all. And I'm sure you guys have lots of experience over that, because, you know, the litany of failures is huge, because that has not been done because someone's tried to just ram forward technology into the business.
Erika, you are organizing every year Insurance Innovation Day, and you have also, there are quite a lot of insurance people from insurance companies, so it might seem that they are curious about this. No?
Yes, you know my motto. Also, I have every year motto that follow me, my activities, what I am doing as training, as consulting, as organizing events, and so. And this year it was curiosity drives innovation. So, because it's starting again from the mindset. So that if the people are curious, if they are wanted to do something, really to change, to go to the leaders, to go to the other colleagues, and they want to understand this industry, they have the possibility. But from the digitalization stand, I would say that the insurance industry in the beginning of this exponential growing or exponential developing of the technology. Why? Because we have a very serious situation between the sales process from the agent, so that's the personally sales approach, and we have the possibility from the digital approach that nobody needs from the people side in this process to build. And of course, the technology is here, the challenge is here. Okay, what should we do if we can solve and we can sell or process everything digital? What can we do with our colleagues? And this is what we try to explain. Hey, it's a lot of possibility in other side. You can support your clients. You can use the time to develop some creative ideas. You can do something different in this market and use the technology. Because, I would say that on the market is the same product, as not so many different products that you can find. But what you can do as company and to use your asset like talented people and ideas to do something, this is what we will in the future other. If you create a great marketing campaign, for example, or I have in our program from one company, 7 people. This is a legal protection company, and they learned how can I do social marketing in TikTok. Can you imagine a legal insurance company use TikTok as a marketing channel? Yes, they learned and they are using. And they are preparing very cheap, easy videos, but more million views every time, and explain what if you are going with your dog to walk, what can happen from the insurance point of view. And it will be explained a very easy way. And of course, it's no other insurance companies say, TikTok, oh, I don't use it because GDPR in Europe and what they are doing with our data. But this is the mindset. How can you use the technology to create something interesting, creative for your clients? And of course, the digitalization, what we are doing, it's always we are doing from the human-centered approach. So that's what we are doing in design thinking approach or business model innovation, what we are building. It's always from the point of view of your clients. Because I think it's not so interesting to use blockchain if the client, for example, if you have a flight delay insurance, nobody knows which technology behind it. But I know if the flight has a delay 2 hours, immediately I can, my claims immediately can get to my account. And I think this is that very important topic. How can we develop this mindset to create for the client something interesting and to do something different? And I think this is a learning process, because we are again back to these talented people. And I say there is hire for attitude and train for skills. As this, everybody knows this. I think this point of view, but I know that. If I organize the event in Vienna once per year, this is a big international event, coming people from Singapore, from everywhere of the world, and I know that the people, they are hungry to know something, and they are, the people in the eye. Oh, what is this? How can I solve? How can I connect people and be curious? Because curiosity drives innovation.
Yes, curiosity drives innovation. Very nice. Štefan, there was mention already GDPR and regulations. And okay, we know that the regulation in a certain stage might help to innovation. If there is too much regulation, it might kill the innovation. So from your point of view, where we are now, in what stage? Do we have too much regulation, or still it's a healthy regulation?
Many people say that European Union have one problem, and this problem is over-regulation. And especially in insurance industry, I mentioned it that we have really huge Solvency II regulation regime, we have IDD regime, we have PRIPS regime, we have so many regulations which are linked to the insurance industry and to the processes which are really important when we talk about creation new insurance products. When we talk about to change the mindset in distribution of insurance product. And that is the reason why I think it's so hard to change the practice in insurance undertakings. For example, let's imagine a situation where an insurance undertaking decided to create, I don't know, mobile application for the distribution of life insurance products. And how can start it? Yeah, we have some company which prepare for us digital solution, but what we need to see IDD regulation, IDD requirements, and correctly create pre-contractual documents, correctly set information about the insurance undertaking, create the questions for a client, which correct testing the client. It's not so simplified as it looks, because it's about the needs, experience, knowledges of the client, of his financial situation. And when it's EBIPS product, which is EBIPS product is investment-based insurance product, you need to know the client resistant to loss and ability to bear the risk. And after that, you need to assess this information and prepare correct recommendation of suitability for the client, which is also the low risk because when it's bad, then is responsibility of insurance undertaking when it would be direct selling this product. And after that, you need to think about time factors, about setting up mechanism for contract signing, which is problem in Slovak legislation at this time. And also after that you need to something like an archive mechanism, because you need to have this information for, I don't know, more than 10 years. And also you can be supervised by National Bank, and you need it. And after that, many management say, yeah, it's so complicated to prepare some solution which cover the low risk of the whole operation. It would be better to go in older way, and we don't do it. And that's the why we face to the potential problems to have a new solutions in insurance industry. From this point of view, yeah, I think we have so many regulation. But from the point of the electronical solutions and from setting this solution itself, I think the regulation is in the start. I think so, because I think they doesn't exist borders for any insurtech which is on a market. I think the situation in future would be worse, not better, from this point of view. I think so. I'm realistic. I think in every way where would be new solutions, would be new regulation for a future. And it was mentioned ESG before. Yeah, it's a huge theme for a future. We have many conferences, we have many discussion on European level, not only on a regulation level, also on the level of third sector and so on. But at the end, it would be need to find proper solution for implementation new regulation, SFDR, CFDR. We have many rules for taxonomy and so on. That it means, it's an open way how to implement it. I think it's a big possibility also for firms which prepare new solutions, but they need to take the regulation and use it properly for themselves. I think there would no be situation that they delete the regulation and we would have something like a greenfield. I don't think so.
All this regulation brings that we need more creative people that will think how to be compliant in the regulation on one side, on another side, how to do all these changes what we need. Because I think we agree that we need to change the industry, and because one of the reasons is that our potential clients are the young people, and they are thinking completely differently than the traditional way of insurance companies they do. So at least from this point of view, we need to make a digital transformation on. So yes, one thing about the regulation that is, I think, we would like to have, it's regarding open data. We know that in the bank area industry there is PSD2. Now they're preparing PSD3. That this regulation helped to open the data, helped the bank industry to third parties, to a lot of startups, mainly on the investment area. And I think this is something what would be good to have also in insurance industry, because open data is like a vehicle for new insurtech companies, new startups that might use it. So what do you think, Peter? What is your opinion about the open data in insurance industry?
Short answer in theory, really good. Long answer. Look, part of the challenges legacy carriers have, whether, I sit here and it's Compensa or Unica, Unica merged with AXA, is how well they manage their own data in-house right now before you give them a load of other people's data. So I think, and I'll go into a bit more detail, but my concern is current insurers are dealing with legacies because, you don't see new insurers. You have MGAs, yes, and you have other bodies, but it's not like we don't have neobanks. All right, Lemonade came around, but it's supported by Allianz and Lloyd's of London, right? It's an MGA, and an MGA is in effect a broker or an agent that's selling insurance on behalf of an insurer. So just a quick thing on that. But we don't have new entrants, right, into our industry. So they all have legacy systems. I mean, Venus Statisha is over 100 years old, AIG is 90 years old, These companies have a lot of data in-house which they struggle with. From a consumer perspective, I would love it that if I don't have to fill in a renewal form, and whether that's a commercial insurer or with yourselves, if you didn't have to go and fill in any data and you got 8 quotes, for example, my ideal, and I was at a think tank a couple of months ago, I would love to be able to have my data in the blockchain so it's safe, but I can only share it with people I want. I don't want insurers or banks to have my data. I want to decide who has that data. But from a risk perspective, if I could keep all of my risk data, my no claims, what kind of driver I am from telematics, my details, my health, my age, and I can share that with a select number instead of filling in a comparison website, going to see an agent to get a quote, that would be fantastic. The problem is how they use my data, because you would have a lot of privacy in there, especially when we start to come into the life insurance side. And I think it goes to the regulation. There is a lot of regulation, but I come from a case study, AIG, and if you don't know, look at AIG 2008, who kind of skirted regulation right a little bit and caused one of the reasons there was a financial crisis. So regulation has its place, but when you come into data, that's a whole different world, and you'll get a lot of pushback from a lot of people about sharing such personal information about my blood group type, diabetic, HIV, my sexuality, that the theory is fantastic. I think how insurance and banks and everyone utilizes that's a bit different. I mean, we keep mentioning Google. They have a lot of problems around that, right? I imagine they spend hundreds of millions, if not nearly $1 billion, on fines each year, lawyers, because if there's a data leak or, and at the moment, that's just your search history, right? And other bits that they pick up. If all of a sudden someone has access, this is my life, and it's there, and it's out there, that's quite scary, right? So I think we've got a long way to go before we get to that point. I think in practice, it can be done tomorrow. There's not a problem there's technology companies out there. I think it's the protection and how you manage it, and goes back to winning over hearts and minds of consumers. Because ultimately, whether it's digitalization, there's lots to do. It's around, consumer duty. Every piece of digitalization should benefit the end user, the client. So, does it benefit? Yes. Do they want it? I'm not sure.
Okay, thank you. František, is the industry ready for open data?
I think from the technological point of view, if they are not ready, they will be ready in 1 year, whatever. Yeah, the problem is what just Peter mentioned, to share the data, because PSD2, what you open to the fintechs is your transactional history, right? So you can aggregate from different banks and do some magic with that data, offer you investment programs and so on. But it's only money. It's not the data about your life, your driving habits. What, for example, what we see in insurance companies, because I think this pay-as-you-drive insurance, it exists already 15, maybe 20 years. Aviva launched it in UK for young drivers really 15, 20 years ago. And we don't see such products anywhere else, because what we, for example, see in Czech Republic, that the drivers, and now embedded insurance is another topic we maybe wanted to talk about. Drivers doesn't want to share their data, which every new car now has, and it's easy to collect from the car, and they do it in car repair shops, when they are analyzing the data when they are repairing your car. So they don't want to share it with the insurance company, even though they will benefit, from that. They don't want to share. So insurance companies are doing it a different way with the mobile apps, for example, in Czech Republic. But sharing those kind of data for the consumers, it's a huge problem. So they are ready. They want to do it, like insurance companies, but there is no space, on the there. We see the hurdles and the issues on the client side. The same one insurance company launched a product based on IoT data. Yeah, you have the sensors in your house, and whenever there is a leak of the water, of any kind of fluid, it will stop the water. So those sensors will prevent the damage. So it was good. It prevents the damage and then covers what was damaged. Yeah? So win-win situation for the consumer and for the insurance company as well. But they stopped this product because people doesn't want to share those kind of data with the insurance company. They sell like a couple of dozens, maybe hundreds of contracts, and they finished it because it was not attractive enough. So we are talking about digitalization. They are trying, they are pushing on different products. They have ideas. For example, I'm working with an insurance company on a product or on the project of a new core system. And we collected first some ideas, from the company, what they want to do differently. We have, I think, 987 ideas or requirements, what the new core system should do differently than the other. For example, there was idea that they would like to insure things in metaverse, or in the online gaming, where you buy for real money some item in online gaming. You can get the insurance because it's a unique item. Once it's stolen from you by some cyber criminal, you can get the compensation because those items are quite valuable. It costs real money. So they are able to create some interesting ideas, but the realization often fails because you need to do the proper research on the marketing research, whether you will find enough people to buy this product. So I don't want to be negative, but they are ready to do this. They have good ideas, but it's not just about shooting every target on the market, but think what will really have the impact and what will return.
Yes, our business is about the trust. So I think we have to work on it on both sides, on the client side, also on the insurance side. And open data leads to transparency, and transparency leads to less claims. Yes, and so this is maybe this is also one of the reasons why the people, I am speculating only, they don't want to share the data. As Jana showed us that after the implementation of the proper process of taking picture of the car, the number of claims in the first 3 months reduced dramatically. No? So what do you think, Jana?
Well, we are thinking quite a lot about life insurance, but there is also non-life insurance. We don't have to speak about personal data. There are a lot of not personal data about the properties, about the cars. We wouldn't be here without our first clients sharing some of their data with us, so we can think about it, so we can train on that, and so on. So giving some part of data, to opening them to some new companies, technological companies, could again help the innovation. All of that is connected. Once there's data, the young companies, or it doesn't have to be young, but the companies can work with, can think about, then there can be the innovation. Because you can't do innovation without a real data. Then you can think about it, but in the end, you need the business behind that and the data behind that to prove if your ideas are right or not.
Yes, Štefan, from your point of view, how are you prepared as the regulator for open data in insurance industry?
Open data, it's something which is really huge, discussed on European level. And the approach which was created in banks, it's a little bit simplified. It was mentioned before, the data which are transferred in bank sector are limited. And from perspective of insurance data, we talk about the data which are really, how to say, where I also privately have big concern about how they will be used. It was mentioned before. How to create enough privacy, how to defend this data from the point of the cyber crimes, because when this type of data would be stolen, it can be used for many reasons which are opposite to any consumer needs or any needs of companies which were this data which have this data in data warehouses. And I maybe there was it's more I think a year and something when was some US company which was in which have gas station in United States, and they have really big cyber problem, and the complete data was stolen and system was cut off, and there was the problem for, I don't know, 2 weeks to do it business properly, because it was cut off the system for selling and for distribution of gas in a part of US, and at the end, this company pay to this, I don't know what where these criminals were, but they pay it for keys to open their systems. And what in situation when every data which are really privacy, it was mentioned the data from cars. And it's not only about how fast you go. It's not about what is your experience in driving. It's also about where you were, where you've been. And maybe it would be funny, but what in a situation when you were on, I don't know, on the dinner with other wife, it's not with your wife, and somewhere send the email and send this information. And also it can be about the companies. What in situation that you have something like a preparation of concrete project and whole company was, I don't know, on a vacation, and you don't prepare it, and your partner know it after that, and it can break the contract. From this perspective, it's really tricky to give whole information which are collected to something like the generally provided information. And I think we need to set up for a future this the rights, which type of data would be provided, and how would be proper way, how can be provided. We need to set up properly, because when we don't set up properly, we can face much bigger problems as it looks for the first sight. Yeah, I know it would be fantastic to have enough data to measure the risk of potential client. It would be fantastic for an insurance undertaking, and know of everybody what they do. It is perfect. I can imagine that your TV send information to some type of hub, and this hub send this information also to the insurance company, and your insurance company know that normally at I don't know 6 p.m. you are at the TV every day, and you don't jump from the hill. You are not so risky as another person who every day jump from the hill. But as I mentioned, there is a lot of data which can be which can have big impact on the privacy.
Only add, because I think this is again the question of the mindset. What can I do with the data? I am checking it from the regulatory perspective. I have to protect my data, or I check it from the insurance service perspective. If I have an accident with my car and I have a telematics solution, I have an advantage about the data, because everybody knows where I am, and my life can save. Or if I have the data with my variables, and I can save my health, and I can something prevent from my health, and it could be that I will die only 10 years later because in the time I checked something. I think this is again this perspective, because, for example, if you are checking the telematic, here in middle of Europe, we have all the data, we don't give the data, we don't have the support from the media side, we don't see the service possibility, because it's a lot of service possibility and business model behind it, and we don't see it. But for example, if we check it in Italy using the most service-oriented telematic solution in the whole world. And because they have a lot of mechanisms behind it, regulatory, media, explanation, education for the clients. And this is another perspective what we don't do here in our region. And I think this is what we should check from the other perspective. And this is only my add, that the technology can help in a lot of space to reduce costs for the insurance, for example, or protect life, or whatever. But we have other mindset, and we are using data, of course. But from my opinion, we don't have enough qualitative data in the insurance database, because it could be that the data is in the by the agent or by the broker, but not in the insurance company. Also, especially in Austria, we have very low data quality in the insurance companies. But of course, we are working on it and to try this, how can help the technology in this case, and we are learning it.
Okay, thank you very much. Just to remind that we still have 7 minutes to go, and we have 2 questions on Slido. But before we go to questions, let's touch the last topic, and this is climate changes. We see that the climate change is happening here. 2 years ago, we experienced the tornado in Moravia. 2 weeks ago, we experienced the earthquake in East Slovakia. This is the events we just saw on the TV. Now we are facing in reality. So maybe we don't want to talk now about these climate change from the climate point of view, but from fintech and insurtech side, how insurtech can help insurance companies with, let's say, with prevention, with warning people before such an event will come, or with help them to speed up the process of claims after such events. Erika, what?
Yes, so this is again an opportunity. How can I use the technology to protect it? I think the most interesting startups in this case that working together with the insurance industry does in climate techs, so that a lot of new data quality, and you can measure where will be this, for example, problematic, and of course you can inform, you can protect your clients. Currently, of course, not every insurance companies use this service. I am working here in Slovakia 5 years and in the corporate side, and we use it immediately. For example, a company Ubimed, you can get the information if the storm or so, and of course you can go with your car in the garage, and we send for the this information for the clients. And this is that we have to learn how can we give the opportunity from the technology side to create service, and of course the mitigation is a big issue. How can we support our clients?
So I think in lots of ways, I was reading an article when I was on a plane flying from Malta yesterday about turbulence. So turbulence is up 50%, like severe turbulence. And obviously, coming from AIG, we had some of the biggest fleets. So part of the challenge is we're seeing new trends we're not sure of, and that's damage that leads to problems for insurers, because insurers are going to pay out about that. But some things, so it means focusing on areas where we can. So early fire detection, we've seen a huge increase in forest fires, and despite some of that being linked to climate, a lot of it is humans, right? So there's a huge amount of areas, lots of technology that's out there, but it's about utilizing it. But the challenge is things are changing so rapidly that the models that are being used by Moody's with and CoreLogic, etc., they're based on historical data, and things are changing going forward. So I think that's going to be part of the challenge around climate tech, but it's absolutely essential for insurers. Otherwise, they're going to see huge losses, or we're going to see regulators and governments having to step in. I did an article on it around flooding, around certain areas, because insurers will say, we're not going to cover it. So governments will have to pick it up. So it's something where government, technology companies and insurers need to work together on.
Yeah, I'm coming from team where 3/4 of the team are actuaries, so people creating those models to calculate different type of risks. So there's a whole industry about that, about predicting how it will behave in the future, and ESG is requiring that you need to have those predictions in your physical risk modules in your future products. So the regulation is basically saying to insurance companies, you need to predict, you need to module the future and incorporate that in your pricing. So yeah, lots of data, lots of interesting stuff. So anybody who is interested in mathematical modeling and these profiles insurance companies need.
Okay, somebody would add?
Maybe something what I see from the information which I get from abroad. I think in this area is really big potential for fintech firms. For example, in China, there are insurance undertakings which uses drones, uses the airplanes from China National Agency to collect the information from agricultural coverage, and when happen something like drought or big monsoon or something which destroy the farm, they can control through this data in real time that it would be possible, because when they have exact pictures, exact models of weather, and they don't see that it wasn't there any big raining in this area, they don't pay it, and they have for really small areas, it can through the data which they have it, they can use it for liquidation of insurance claims, and also from the perspective of big data which are collected by other companies. I don't know, from Boeing, Airbus, because they have many data which was mentioned before, and also from any specific companies like from geological radars which are covered by big states, and when all this data are together, it can be used in potential new way how to improve the models, how improve the liquidation of insurance claims itself. And also when we talk about predictivity of changing of climate, yeah, it's a really tough task. We need to say, because it changed really fast now. But I think many times it's about that the companies still use all the data because they want to use it, because there are the data which are which was used many years, and they don't want to change the models so fast, because they are not so sure that it will be good. I think that the reason. But as I mentioned before, it's about the changing of mindset and use new technologies for more data to better measure the risk.
Okay, so we have two questions. The first one is for Jana. How does InstaCover defend itself so that it cannot be easily deceived? For example, stickers for evidenčné číslo or VIN.
Not sure if I understand correctly the question.
Maybe
Who was the one asking?
is to explain who is asking.
AI are easily visually be fooled. So how your system is, what measures do you have in system to defend for this?
So in case of license plates or VIN numbers, because it was an example, so the AI knows how that should look like. That's the first one. That's the visual part. And then that's the form. That means in case of check one, that's 7 characters, numbers, and the letters as well. So first one is there a license plate? Second one, does it look like a license plate? The third one, is there the specific amount of characters? And yeah, that's the measure. Maybe Michal, our CTO, is sitting over there. Am I telling it correctly? Do you want to add something?
Maybe we can discuss it after the panel discussion.
Great. Thank you.
Okay. And
Same is for a win.
Same is for the win. Yeah, when you have either on the glass or somewhere in a car on the door or something, and that's the same. So you have the number of characters. If we are giving back the form or the exact how it looks like, we are telling them this is correct or this is not correct, and there is a mistake in one character. There you can see that it's probably not an attempt for fraud, but it's probably an error of the AI because it wasn't one, it was I, something like that.
And you control to the other database of the VIN numbers or not?
It's not a database. We have expected result from the insurance company because they know that will be Škoda Octavia with this VIN and this license plate.
okay, and another question is, what do you think about digital euro in a way of innovation and in a way of a risk or danger? Maybe this is a question for you.
Maybe it's a question for me. Digital euro, I think, would be the future. Because what is digital euro? Digital euro is also the currency, nothing more. We know that we have digital currencies which are not the proper currencies of the countries. And this was created from some reasons. But what is my expectation for the future? I think this type of currencies would be at the end destroyed by national governments. I think for maybe 20 years for the future, we don't have Bitcoin or anything more. Why? Because a government need to control how is financial system functioning and how can be used the money. That's the whole. I think. Remember, it was 2 years or 3 years ago when Bitcoin falls rapidly down, and it was the reason was so simple. Chinese government said we can't use Bitcoin in some operations and fall, I don't know, more than 300% down the Bitcoin in few days. And when it would be more hard a decision for this type of currencies, it happens. But from the point of digital euro, it would be about using digital technology for how to use money. And digital euro is a proper way. When it would be exist European Union, digital euro is the way. I think so.
Okay. Thank you very much for the discussion. Let me summarize what we discussed to summarize our panel. For the first, don't be afraid of insurance industry. It can be sexy. Second, you can have a new and better products by sharing data, but you cannot cheat your wife or boss. And the third, and if you want to become a millionaire, start fintech and welcome climate changes. So thank you very much and have a nice day.